Hello guys, and welcome back to our Getting Started with LabVIEW Community Edition. And today we will look into Python Node. Now, a lot of you may be aware that we can actually use Python functions within LabVIEW, and that is actually possible when we are using the Python node. To search where we can find this Python node, you can actually go to the connectivity palette and you will see a Python palette here, and here you can actually see these are the three functions that you can actually use when you want to call Python functions or Python scripts within LabVIEW. Now this functionality was actually introduced in LabVIEW 2018 version, and at the time it is possible to use this with Python 2.7 and Python 3.6. However, the availability of other Python version will slowly be able to use in other LabVIEW versions as well. If you refer to the NI website, there's actually a table that shows what are the Python version that is actually compatible with LabVIEW. And with this, I will actually put in the link in the description. You can actually check here. This is the LabVIEW version that is actually compatible with several Python versions. So I'll put this in the link for your own reference. Now, what we can actually do here is that we can actually use the Python node, and the Python node actually has a flow, which is first we need to open the session, and then we need to call the Python function, and after that we need to close the session. So these are actually the three methods that can be used to call the Python function. Now to demonstrate this, I will actually use an example. I have 4 examples here, and I have already created a simple Python module. And this module basically uses mathematical operation. We have 4 functions here. The first function is to add 2 numbers and return the value. The second one is to get a square root of a number. The third function is using the Pythagoras theorem to calculate the hypotenuse. And the last function is to check an odd and even number by taking in an integer input and returning into a string. So once we have the Python module, we can actually start programming. We can actually start programming this in LabVIEW. So first what you need to do is you go to Connectivity Toolkit, Python, and first we actually need to open a session. Now if you look into the Open Python session API, the first initialization requires a Python version, and you can actually check this by using a CMD. You can actually check this using your command prompt, and I know that my Python version is actually 3.10. And also make sure that your Python version is compatible with your LabVIEW version. In this case, I'm using Python 32-bit version 3.10, and my LabVIEW version is 2020 32-bit. If you do not do that, then it will actually throw an error. So the next is to open a Python node. And once you have a Python node at here, I put in the open session far away, close session far away here. Always connect the error wire terminal. And now once you have the Python node in, we can close this, and you can see that the Python node requires 2 input for this to configure. First, you need to have the path of the module. You need to have the location of the module, and we can put this location of the module here. And most of the time, I put my module in here. This is the check and odd even, which is here, downloads. And next is we also need to put in the function name. So first we need to check. So I'm going to use the add number function. So we have to put in the string of this function, add number, and then we create a constant here, add number. Now once you have configured the location of the module and the function that you want to call, next is we have to configure the terminals, the input terminals here. Here it requires a return type and a return value. So this is the expected output that LabVIEW needs from the Python function. So if you look into the Python code again, it requires probably any value here. So let's put in a double value. It expected a return value of a double. So let's put in the double value. So let's put here numeric control, let's say value A, and another numeric control value B, because it requires A and B value. And the return, we put this as C, which is the indicator. Let's put this as C. Now we have a expected parameter. So because we are expecting a parameter, so we have to put in the return type here, and the return value should be connected to the numeric indicator. Now to put in the expected parameter, we need to drag the bottom of the Python node to expect two input parameter, which is A and B. So now this is done. So what we can do is we can try to run the first example here. So let's put this as 2 and let's put this as 3, and it should get the value of 5. So this is a simple example. And what if you want to call the next example, which is the square root? The same thing goes as well. We need to have an input and a one return. So let's call this again here, remove the wiring, let's put this here, since this only requires one input and one output, so we just only have to put in one here. And let's say numeric value again, input value, and another numeric indicator, square rooted value. Again, we are putting in here a double as well on the return type, and the return value goes here. Input value comes here. Now for the module, we can reuse the same module path again. And for the function, we're going to put in here square root value number. We have to make sure that the function string has to be exact. If not, it will actually return error. So let's put here 25, and we run here again, it returns the value of 5. And if we put here 16, it returns 4. Right. So what about if we call the hypotenuse, which is this Pythagoras hypotenuse? So to make it simple, let's remove these functions here. Let me just remove this, remove on the wire, and let me remove this. Let's put here hypotenuse, and we see here in the hypotenuse it requires 2 input and 1 output. So let's put in here, let's put this as adjacent, and we put this one output which is hypotenuse, and we put in another one more which is opposite for the Pythagoras calculation. And again, we take in here the double value, we put here 2, now that's a bit confusing. Okay, 1 here, and the opposite gets the return value, and the, oh no, sorry, I think the hypotenuse should be getting the return value, and the opposite should be changed into a control. Alright, so we know that for hypotenuse value of 5, it requires the adjacent and opposite value of 3 and 4. So let's put here 3 and 4, and this is 4, opposite for 4, and you get the calculation of 5. And the same thing goes when you actually have 5 and 12. It should get a hypotenuse value of 13. Okay, now this is the example that actually requires numeric values and expect a numeric value as well. Now what about if, let's say, we use the last function here, which is the check odd and even function, where it requires an integer value and it returns a string output. Now this does not seem tricky, because all you have to do is you only have to return put in the return type as a string value here. So let's try this. We just need to remove this again. Remove this. You have a string constant. You have a string constant here. We have to put in the return type, and the expected return value will be a string. Now let's create an indicator return value here, and because it requires one number only as an integer, so let's create an integer here, probably numeric constant. Numeric control, and let's change this representation to I32. You only need one input because you just need to check whether if it's an odd or even. One input, and let's do this. I think this should be fine. And lastly, we also need to check the odd and even function. We put it here, and if you, let's say, run number 1, you should get odd. If you run 2, you should get even. So it is also possible that you could have an calculation, probably a calculation that is actually being done on one data type, and you can actually return it into another data type. As long as you knew what is the expected data type as a return value, and it is actually possible to use this in Python. So you can even try to put it into a while loop and put in a constant here so that it can run continuously. So you can see that if you increase the value, you get odd even, odd even. So this is one way you can use Python node. First, you need to know what is the version that is compatible and the bitness compatible with your LabVIEW, and then there are actually three flows that you need to follow: open, configure, and close, and it is actually being used to call Python node. So this is an example of how to use Python node in LabVIEW.